Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis (ALS) is a disease of unknown cause in which there is a loss of motor neurons, nerve cells controlling muscles, in the anterior horns of the spinal cord and the motor nuclei of the lower brainstem. As these cells die, the muscle fibers that they supply undergo atrophic changes. The degeneration of the neurons may occur in both the upper and lower motor neuron systems. ALS affects more men than women, with onset occurring usually in the fifth or sixth decade of life. In the United States, it is often referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease. Death occurs from infection, respiratory failure, or aspiration. The average time from onset to death is about 3 years. Clinical manifestations. The clinical features of ALS depend on the location of the affected motor neurons. In most patients, the chief symptoms are progressive muscle weakness, atrophy, and fasciculations, means twitching. Symptoms of patients with loss of motor neurons in the anterior horns of the spinal cord. Progressive weakness and atrophy of the muscles are noted in the arms, trunk, or legs. Spasticity is usually present and deep tendon stretch reflexes are brisk and overactive. Anal and bladder sphincters are not affected. Symptoms of patients with weakness in the musculature supplied by the cranial nerves. 25% of patients in early stage. Difficulty talking, swallowing, and ultimately breathing. Soft palate and upper esophageal weakness, causing liquids to be regurgitated through the nose. Impaired ability to laugh, cough, or blow the nose. Symptoms of patients with bulbar muscle impairment. Progressive difficulty in speaking, swallowing, and aspiration. Nasal voice and unintelligible speech. Emotional lability but intellectual function unimpaired. Emotional lability but intellectual function unimpaired. Eventually, compromised respiratory function. Diagnostic evaluation of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Diagnosis is based on signs and symptoms because no clinical or laboratory tests are specific for this disease. Electromyography (EMG) studies are beneficial. Medical management. No specific treatment for ALS is available. No specific treatment. Symptomatic treatment and rehabilitative measures are baclofen, dantrolene sodium, or diazepam for spasticity, quinine for muscle cramps, nasogastric feedings, cervical esophagostomy, or gastrostomy for patients with aspiration or swallowing difficulties. Mechanical ventilation. Decision is based on patient and family's understanding of the disease, prognosis, and implications of initiating such therapy. Encourage patient to complete an advanced directive or living will to preserve autonomy. Nursing management. The nursing care of the patient with ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, is generally the same as the basic care plan for patients with degenerative neurologic disorders. Nursing management assessment. Assess health history, focusing on muscle weakness, respiratory and esophageal muscles, eye and vision changes, and the patient's and family's knowledge about the disease and the drug treatment program. Assess patient's functional capability and support system to determine discharge needs for services. Patients with myasthenia gravis are usually managed on an outpatient basis unless hospitalization is required for managing symptoms or complications. Major nursing diagnosis. Ineffective breathing pattern related to respiratory muscle weakness. Impaired physical mobility due to voluntary muscle weakness. Risk for aspiration related to weakness of bulbar muscles. Impaired verbal communication related to weakened speech muscles. Sensory perceptual alteration related to impaired vision. Collaborative problems or potential complications. Myasthenic crisis, cholinergic crisis. Planning and goals. The major goals of the patient may include improved respiratory function, increased physical mobility, improved ability to communicate, avoidance of aspiration, and absence of complications. Myasthenic and cholinergic crisis. Nursing interventions, improving respiratory function. Assess respiratory status frequently to detect pulmonary problems before changes in arterial blood gas levels appear. Provide chest physical therapy, including postural drainage to mobilize secretions and suction to remove secretions. Acknowledge patients' fears and give assurance. Increasing physical mobility. Teach patient facts about anticholinesterase drugs, action, timing, dosage, symptoms of overdose, and toxic effects. Emphasize taking medication on time to improve strength and endurance. Encourage patient to keep a diary to determine fluctuation of symptoms. Teach patient to avoid factors that may increase weakness and precipitate myasthenic crisis, emotional upset, infections, respiratory, vigorous physical activity, exposure to heat and cold. Advise patient to wear an identification bracelet such as Medic Alert. Educate patient regarding self-help devices. Provide as desired. Improving communication. Teach patients with weakened speech muscles technique for improving communication. Example, blink eyes, wiggle fingers or toes. Providing eye care. Help patient cope with impaired vision. Example, taping eyes open for short intervals. Instilling artificial tears to prevent corneal damage. Suggest patient use a patch over one eye for double vision and wear sunglasses to diminish the effects of bright light that increase eye problems. Preventing aspiration. Assess for drooling, regurgitation through the nose, and choking while attempting to swallow. Provide standby suction. Encourage rest before meals. Place patient in an upright position to facilitate swallowing. Provide soft foods that are easily swallowed. Schedule meals to coincide with the peak effects of anticholinesterase. Assist with gastrostomy feedings if necessary. Monitoring and managing potential complications, myasthenic and cholinergic crisis. Respiratory distress combined with varying signs of dysphagia, difficulty in swallowing, dysarrhythmia, difficulty speaking, eyelid ptosis, diplopia, and prominent muscle weakness are symptoms of crisis of either type. Provide immediate, adequate, and ventilatory assistance. Suction patient as needed. Monitor arterial blood gases, serum electrolytes, intake and output, and daily weights. Assist with endotracheal intubation and mechanical ventilation. Place patient in intensive care unit for constant monitoring. Assist with administration of intravenous adrophonium to differentiate type of crisis. This agent improves patient in myasthenic crisis. Temporarily worsens patient in cholinergic crisis. Neostigmine, methyl sulfate, is given with myasthenic crisis. Assist with nasogastric tube feedings if patient is unable to swallow. Avoid sedatives and tranquilizing drugs because they aggravate hypoxia and hypercapnia and can cause respiratory and cardiac depression. Promoting home and community-based care. Teaching patients self-care. Teach patient to consult with physician before taking any new medications. Many prescriptions and non-prescription medications aggravate myasthenia gravis or ALS. Teach patient the importance of administering medication as prescribed. Inform patient and family about crisis intervention, ways to deal with daily needs, and ways to cope with the disease. Teach family emergency measures that may be needed. Provide opportunity to practice these. Nursing alert. A nursing priority is to give the prescribed anticholinesterase drug according to an exact time schedule to control patient symptoms. Delay in drug administration may result in inability to swallow. Continuing care. Inform patient of community and support groups provided by the ALS Foundation. Evaluation. Expected outcomes. Achieves adequate respiratory function, adapts to impaired mobility, experiences no aspiration, uses communication methods, reports ability to see objects and people in environment, recovers from ALS or myasthenic and cholinergic crisis. Thank you. Subscribe for more audios and videos.